Okay, so this is going to be still the same kind of subjunctive or used in the same types of situations with opinions and emotions and attitudes, just a completely different structure than in the last video. I have one example up here. We're going to morph it just a little bit. More than anything, the subjunctive is not the hard part of this sentence at all. The thing that's hard about this sentence is your ability to recollect Spanish 1 kind of stuff. So if you remember being in Spanish 1, when maybe you were placed in pairs and you were supposed to talk what you liked and what you didn't like, or what you loved and what you didn't love, or something like that, you need to kind of recollect that information. On our courses site, I have a PowerPoint up there to help you to recollect that information. How do verbs like gustar work? So we're going to be looking at gustar, encantar, and molestar in the front half of the sentence in the present tense. And these verbs, gustar, basically when you talk about liking something, encantar when you talk about loving something, and molestar doesn't mean what it looks like. Molestar means when something is bothersome to you or whenever you are bothered by something. All of these three verbs need to be used with an indirect object pronoun. Me, te, le, nos, or les. So the one thing that I'm going to leave it up to you to do is to refresh your memories on how the verbs gustar, encantar, and molestar act from like Spanish 1, Spanish 2 kind of stuff that you have been seeing all along. So we say things like me encanta, te encanta, nos encanta, for example. No me gusta, no le gusta, no les gusta. So that will be on you to review from either a Spanish 1 or a Spanish 2 curriculum. And again, I have that on your courses site for you to be able to review that a little more easily. Just click on that, get a quick review, and it should come back pretty quickly because it's pretty easy. The thing that will make it tricky, just to help you to review, is to remember that we do not use a subject in these. So I'm not probably going to say yo me gusta. That would be incorrect. So if you ever see in the front half of your sentence with these verbs like gustar, encantar, molestar, if you ever see yo, tú, él in the front half of the sentence, that is wrong. Don't do that. Basically, we're going to be using these in the present tense in the front half of the sentence, and they will be in the third person singular conjugation, because it's going to be I like that something happens, or you love that something happens, or it bothers you that something happens, or it bothers her that something happens. So it's not necessarily anything that we need to remember with gustar, encantar, and molestar in the plural form of it, like gustan, encantan, molestan, because we're going to be using just the third person singular conjugation. Gusta, encanta, molesta in the present tense, along with the appropriate IOP. So how do we know what is the appropriate IOP? It is essentially to whomever that thing is bothersome. So if I'm bothered that you do something, to whom is that bothersome? To me. So I would choose the me as my appropriate IOP and put me molesta. If you want to say something like, you love that I do blah, 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 then you would say, who loves that? Who loves that? Well, I said, you love that. So we would choose the appropriate IOP, te. And we would say, te encanta, for example. For further explanation on how gustar and verbs like gustar work, you should look back again at the stuff that I have for you available for review. If we want to have a sentence like, I like that you all pay attention, I like that you all pay attention, first we have to determine which one of these is when we talk about liking something. Gustar, encantar, or molestar. Remember that molestar is when something is bothersome. Encantar, when you love something, and gustar when you like something. So obviously in this sentence, we need to use the verb gustar, and we're saying I like, so who likes that? I do. Am I going to put in yo? No. We are not going to do that. We're going to use the appropriate IOP, which would be me. So plugging in right here, may, and then I already kind of gave away the answer of what will go in the next blank, and it will be gusta, me gusta, que ustedes, because I said I like that y'all or you guys pay attention. There are a couple of different ways to say to pay attention. In Spanish, we can say poner atención. We could say prestar atención. Both of those would be correct. I've chosen to use the verb poner. Obviously, it's in the back half of the sentence on the right side of the que, and so it's going to be in the subjunctive. The reason I've chosen this, honestly, is because I wanted you to work with a little bit trickier verb, and it happens to be a spell change verb. How do we know that? Because if we take it back to the yo conjugation of the present tense, what do we get? We get yo pongo, Pongo. So let me do that for you right here. That would be our step one. Our step number two would be get rid of that O, and then our next step would be to add the appropriate opposite ending. So again, this is an ER verb. It's going to have AR verb looking endings and conjugated based off of ustedes. So I would do like this. Pongan atención. The whole sentence would be me gusta que ustedes pongan atención. If I wanted to change the sentence, instead of I like that y'all pay attention, but I love that y'all pay attention, then not much is going to change. It's still me who likes it, or in this new example, who loves that y'all pay attention. So the me is still going to be my appropriate indirect object pronoun, but it will just be this that changes. And we could put, I love that y'all pay attention. Obviously, like I said, may is still going to be the same. And I'm still saying that y'all pay attention. So that back half of the sentence is also going to stay the same. We just now need to, instead of using the verb gustar, we need to use the verb encantar. So we write in encanta. Me encanta que ustedes pongan atención. Me encanta que ustedes pongan atención. I love that y'all pay attention. I'm going to pause the video and put up a couple more examples so we can look at other indirect object pronouns, some more verbs in the subjunctive, get more practice with it, and also use the verb molestar, and even put in some negations like you don't love that something happens, or something is not bothersome to you that it happens, or whatever. So that's what's coming up next. More examples. So we have up here a same kind of sentence, but it's just negated. We see a no in the front. Our first sentence is going to mean you don't like that I speak fast, or you don't like that I speak so fast. And we're just going to fill in the blanks. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, which verb do we need to use over here in the present tense? Gustar, encantar, or molestar. Remember, when something is liked, when something is loved, and when something is bothersome. So since our sentence is, you don't like that I speak fast, or you don't like that I speak so fast, we know that we need to use the verb gustar. That does not go here in this blank, it goes here in this blank. So we're going to put in the present tense, gusta, and then you say, well, what goes in that first blank? It's obviously the appropriate indirect object pronoun, either me, te, le, los, or les. Which one would it be? You say, well, you don't like it, so what's the appropriate IOP? Obviously, te will match with you, not liking it. So we're going to put in te right here. No te gusta que yo. This is the very first verb that we looked at in the subjunctive. It's a regular happy verb. And in the subjunctive, hablar, conjugated based off of yo, would be hable. So that sentence, you don't like that I speak fast, or you don't like that I speak so fast. No te gusta que yo hable rápido. No te gusta que yo hable rápido. In the next sort of kind of parallel sentence, now we're saying, it bothers you that I speak fast. It bothers you that I speak fast. Which one of those verbs over there in the present tense would we have to use? Gustar? Nope, because that's whenever something is liked. Encantar? Nope, because that's when something is loved. And so we're only left with molestar when something is bothersome. So it bothers you. We're going to put molestar, or better yet, molesta, in its third person singular conjugation in that second blank, because it's something that bothers you. And on that note, that will clue us into what our appropriate indirect object pronoun should be. And obviously it's going to be te, because it is bothersome to you. Te molesta que yo, and then we can just steal the answer from up here. Hablar, regular happy, verb in the subjunctive, conjugated based off of yo, hable. So, te molesta que yo hable rápido. Te molesta que yo hable rápido. It bothers you that I speak fast. And more examples are coming up next. So this will be the last set of examples for this video, and then there will be, I think, one more video, maybe two, but definitely one more video that still is going to be subjunctive with emotions, opinions, and attitudes. But I'm going to start a new video after this one, because it's no longer going to be this gustar, encantar, molestar with IOPs. So we have two more sentences up on the board. The first one, we love that they participate. Maybe that's what your professors would say. We love that they participate. And we're going to try to figure that out. So first thing that I would do is I would say, okay, do I need to use gustar, encantar, or molestar? Well, we're not saying we like that y'all participate, and we're not saying that it bothers us that y'all participate. So obviously, we love that y'all participate will be with the verb encantar. So I would go ahead and in the present tense, third person singular conjugation, plunk down encanta, and then try to determine which appropriate indirect object pronoun I need. When you try to figure that out, you say to yourself, who loves it? We love it. So which one of these IOPs would be appropriate for when we love it? Obviously, it will be nos. So that's going to go here in the front. Nos encanta que ellos, and then participar, to participate. Participar, to participate, is a regular happy verb in the subjunctive. It might be a verb that you're not extremely familiar with, so I'll go through the steps with you, but just remember that we're doing yeah, I just want to make sure I spelled it right. We're doing participar, conjugated in the subjunctive based off of ellos. So our first step would be, we take it to the yo conjugation of the present tense. And we would have yo participo. And then step number 2, we would drop that O, and then we would add appropriate subjunctive endings. So since this is an AR verb, our opposite endings of the subjunctive are going to be like ER verb looking endings. Remember, conjugated based off of ellos, and that's how we get participen. P-A-R-T-I-C-I-P-E-N. Participen. So our sentence now, we love that they participate, is nos encanta que ellos participen. Nos encanta que ellos participen. Then our last example right here is going to be, y'all like that the professor explained slowly. Maybe not, but I try. Meaning maybe it's not slowly, or maybe you don't like that it's so slow, but this is just our example sentence. Go with it. Y'all like that the professor explains slowly. So again, we say, do we need to use the verb gustar, encantar, or molestar? We're not saying, y'all love that the professor explains slowly, so we're not going to use encantar. We're not saying that y'all are bothered that the professor explains slowly, so we're not going to use molestar. Obviously, in this example, hypothetical situation, y'all like it, so it's going to be gustar. So we're going to put up here in our second blank, gusta in its third person singular conjugation, leaving room for our appropriate indirect object pronoun. And to find that, you say, who likes it? Well, y'all like it that the professor explained slowly. So which one of these IOPs will match with you all? It will be les. And so we'll put this up here in the front. Les gusta que el profesor, and then we come to this verb. If you look, explicar, to explain, is a car verb. So remember, whenever we have a car verb, that C needs to change to a QU combination, and then after that, we would add appropriate subjunctive endings that are going to look like ER verb endings. So we know that we need to conjugate explicar, a car verb, conjugated based off of el profesor, so maybe he, él, and we will go through the steps. We would take it to the yo conjugation of the present tense. We would get explico, still with the C. Then we could either just change the C to a QU right then and then add subjunctive endings, or we could choose to add the subjunctive endings and then get rid of the C and change it to a QU. Whatever way you choose to go about it is absolutely fine as long as you get to the right answer in the end. So in order to make this sentence correct, we will have this. Explique, explique. So once again, remember that if we had just done this and we had not accounted for the fact that it is a car verb that the C needs to change to a QU, we would have forgotten to change this QU and it would have been a C underneath there and that would be wrong. So explique, explique. And then our last word, lento, obviously means slow or slowly. So this sentence is, les gusta que el profesor explique lento. Les gusta que el profesor explique lento. Again, y'all like that the professor explains slowly. On that note, there's a reason for which I did probably more examples with this one than I have for the last couple, and it's because a lot of us still struggle with this or have forgotten this from a prior Spanish class and just wanted to give you a little bit of extra practice with it. Again, remember that in the next video, we're still doing subjunctive with opinions, emotions, and attitudes. It will just be a whole different ball of wax. So we'll start fresh with a new video.